update.
Hello, 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 and welcome on back. Godum here. Hey, buddies. This is yet another fun-filled herd-only stream. Welcome on back. Good to see you. And look at this. Look at this. Look at the screen. We knew this went live. Actually, I was pretty sure that it did yesterday when I posted in Discord. I was pretty sure it went live for everyone. So I've already, obviously, I've already been in the PTB for this. But yeah, it's cool to see this. And so the thing I don't know is, can I go back? Do I need to go back or do I stay in the PTB? I don't know. But I'm wondering if maybe something might, I don't know if anything will update for me. I don't know. So, but I was enjoying the screen and I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And look at James over there on Twitch. James is twitching over there. Hey buddy, how are you doing, James? And have you gotten into the updated Grounded 2? I don't know if anything's going to change for me. I kind of doubt it, but I'm guessing they might have made some changes. The one thing I would hope would have changed is the grass not growing back like they said it was supposed to. Not grow back, and it has been growing back for me. So yeah, I don't know. But we've got a lot to, I don't know, I think it might be a lot, it might not be a lot, I don't know. And I don't know if we're going to go for an hour and a half. We'll kind of see how it goes. Because I know that has been the feedback is these a little shorter is not a bad thing. So you're working tonight, so you'll check it out at some point. Nice, very cool, very cool. So, real quick little disclaimer. So if you are watching this after the fact, so today our herd only streams are for YouTube members and Twitch subs. That's the herd only streams. Now this happens every Wednesday. Lately, since inception, it has been at 3 p.m. Pacific. However, I am looking at going into maybe 1 week doing 3 p.m. Pacific, the next week doing noon Pacific, and then back and forth to kind of help out. Once again, to kind of help out, try and help out the international crowd. I was thinking about doing it today, but I got busy. Your boy's been working. Your boy's been working in prep for Spooktober, and I've been busy. And it's because I'm new to all this stuff, to all this jazz. It takes a little bit longer to do a lot of these things because I'm so new to all this stuff. So it's crazy because I got to do everything on my own, on my lonesome. So yeah, so it does take me what might take somebody about 10 minutes to do with knowledge. And hopefully at some point I'll get to that point where it will be like 10 minutes. It might take me an hour or even maybe 2. So yeah, it takes, so it does slow down time a little bit, but that's fine. That's part of the learning process, and that is part of the fun. Like I've always said ever since starting this channel is, yeah, games are fun. We love playing games, right? That's why we're here. But at times there have been many times where learning the aspects of having a channel has been more fun than playing. And it's not saying that playing gets, boring or not fun. It's just how fun that learning can be. Is what that's alluding to. So whether that went from A, just starting the channel, B, learning about audio, and I still struggle with audio. I still think it sounds horrible. So maybe I don't think I'm quite learning. But yeah. And then it just every few months, it seems like there's something new to learn, which is, again, part of the fun. And that's good. If you're not learning, you're not growing, right? If you're not learning, you're not growing. So I like that. Let's get some sleep in here real quick. I got a little sidetracked there, but yeah, that's why we did not do a noon today. But that I think that might be a plan going forward. But I'll make sure everyone knows full, ahead of time of what that plan is. So if you're watching this later on, post, generally these are going to come out on Sunday morning for non-members. That is the plan, to have these come out on Sunday morning for non-members. So if you're watching this, just beware. Yeah, this is a recording if you're not watching on Wednesday, October 1st. Let's go ahead and clean some of these things up. But yeah, we have a few things to go over. Let me get these cleaned up here real quick. Boom. All right. Yeah, that's always going to be a thing here. I think it's mainly because this caterpillar, potentially. I think it's because of the caterpillar. But one thing I was thinking, especially if we are
but it's drinkable,
doing these on a shorter time frame, right? Instead of 3 hours, because the original thought was let's go 3 hours. Let's kind of do. People can hop in and out. Members can hop in and out as they see fit. But like I said, starting off, there's been some feedback that maybe a little shorter would be better. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go to like an hour and a half instead of 3, depending on how it is. Then we'll have a short little break, and then we'll start our PM stream at 3. So that's kind of the format we're going with now. And as always, we're open to change. We're open to tweaking it, finding out what works best for as many people as possible. So yeah, all of that is going on. Whoa, these shadows. Look at that. Obviously we've seen the shadows move quick. I don't know if I've seen them that drastic before, which is kind of crazy. And also the sun's over there. So why are the shadows coming? I don't know. I guess they're coming through that. I guess they're coming through that tree on over. So real quick. So I guess if you're watching this live, right, or you're watching this some point today, tomorrow, so schedule is Monday and Thursday are AM streams. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday are PM streams. Sunday off. I might throw in an occasional late Sunday night stream for a few hours. We'll see. But as of right now, it's a day off, a full day off. So that means tomorrow, Thursday, is an AM stream, and tomorrow was the plan to start our Spooktober and play Directive 8020. But I found out yesterday in prep that game was delayed till early. I think it's early 2026. So we can't play that. So that kind of changed things up a little bit. I do have a replacement game. But one thing I thought about this morning, although it got to be a little too late, one thing I thought about this morning was, why don't we just start Spooktober today? I didn't think about that yesterday when we were having that conversation. I didn't think about that yesterday. Why didn't we just start Spooktober today? I mean, it's October 1st. It seems like it would have been perfect. But I got busy with some other things, and I'll kind of show you, I'll kind of give you a little bit of insight on what I got busy on today here on part of the Herd Only stream. Early access to this info. You'll have it before anybody else. So it got a little late. It got a little late. So we are going to do a game tomorrow, obviously. And I'm keeping it a secret for now. But we did throw up a poll yesterday. Let me bring, let's bring this on over because we're going to get into our Wordle. We're going to get into our Quirtle. I've got a trailer to watch. But let's first bring up how our poll is doing for the videos that we want to watch. The videos that we want to watch. Actually, is this where I want to do this at? Can I do this here? Can I look at posts here? Looks like I can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, if I don't like the post, why would anybody else like it? All right, so it looks like currently Outlast is taking a huge lead right now. Outlast is taking a huge lead for the second game. I have the first game in mind. I'm already working on getting it set up for tomorrow. But it looks like Outlast can be the second, and then potentially, I'll let this go for a couple days before we lock it in. But if you're watching this on Sunday or this weekend or in the future, if you have any other additional suggestions, feel free to leave a comment or go into Discord on the suggested games to play. Leave a link to a game that you would like to see, and we can kind of work those in. But it looks like right now we're going to probably be going Outlast, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, and then Soma after our initial kickoff game. Yeah, and then that kickoff game, like I said, will start tomorrow it'll be probably either 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Pacific. We've been going 10 a.m. Pacific, but I might get a little itchy to get it a little started early. We'll see. So yeah, it looks like there's that poll. If you have not voted yet, go ahead, hop on over to YouTube, check out the poll, and take advantage of that. I did also throw it into where's it at? The announcement section on Discord, so you can get the link there also if you want to get it there. Another thing I was kind of thinking through was, especially since we are kind of working these a little shorter now. So obviously, up until now, all of these Herd Only streams we've been still kind of focused on a game, right? So like right now, Grounded 2, and it's always been like Grounded 1, Grounded 2. I think we did do a Valheim, and the whole idea was we'll do a little bit of building or a little bit of farming, and then we'll chat, hang out, watch a couple videos, watch a couple trailers, play a couple games, kind of see what's going on. But as we're getting these shorter, if we're going to go shorter and shorter, I'm starting to doubt or debate whether we should even have it be focused around a game specifically, right? So like maybe the thumbnail should not be a Grounded 2, right? Because if we're not going to be doing much, yeah, if we're in here doing, like 10 minutes of work, that's no big deal. But if we're not spending like half an hour to an hour of doing work, there's really not a whole lot to see. And then it might throw off the playlist, right? Because these always go right into the playlist. And then somebody's going to be like, well, this was here, but you didn't actually play the game. All you did was chat and talk. So maybe there's a Herd-only playlist that we start, which would mean I would be creating separate thumbnails. It would not be necessarily game-specific. So I don't know. That's an idea. Because if it transitions the way I'm seeing these starting to transition a little bit, it'll be less and less gameplay and more just hanging out and doing some separate things. So that's an idea to think about. If you guys have any feedback on that, definitely let me know. Okay, with that, I do think let's go ahead and let's hop back on in to our tab here. And the one trailer I wanted to check out, I don't know if you guys have seen this. OD Knock. Have you guys seen this? This is a Kojima game. So I found out about this by watching, I don't know I know it was Luke Stevens. It was Luke Stevens that I found out this. Obviously it must not have been this video or else it would have showed I watched it. Maybe another video, I don't know. But evidently I believe the way this works, it's something very similar to Dark Pictures Anthology, where OD I think might be the anthology, and then knock, and then they'll have different people come in and make different games within that anthology. Oh wait, 1 second. I thought I turned. Hold on a second. I thought I turned those goals off. Apologize for that. We don't need that for the members only. You guys are already members. And if you're members, I'm assuming you're already subs. I thought I turned that off. And then different producers or game developers come in and make a game within that anthology. And again, if I'm understanding this correctly, I believe Kojima's is Knock. So I thought we'd check this out. It looked pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and check out the official trailer. Obviously, anything Kojima, especially when he gets into horrors, really cool. Maudsley, hey buddy, how you doing? Welcome on in, Mauds. Light the fires to celebrate their something. I'm always good, Mods. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Have been having a busy morning and it's been fun. Look at that. I mean, look at how freaky that looks. No, wait, real quick. I think we need to go back real quick. I might have missed something. Yeah, it's right here. This building was from a 3D scan of something found in so evidently this is a legit room, and then we're in a sinister ritual. So evidently this is a legit real room that was 3D scanned for the game. Now it said building. So we must spend the entire game in a building, maybe? And you know I love those type of games. Obviously this has some strong PT vibes. Now I wonder if this is, obviously you wonder if this is cinematic or gameplay, because it looks so amazing. But some of the movements, like the hand itself, does make you think it could be gameplay. And there's that slight little pause there, right? So that's the thing. Oh, look at down here. Wait, did this thing not start turning until she lit that? Look, it's going faster now. Look at that. Radiation? Dude, that looks insane. That looks absolutely insane. Those did not look like those were her hands. Did not look like those were her hands. For all players and screamers. Is there a date? Oh, there's not a date. Whoa, that looks amazing, man. And supposedly, so I don't know. Supposedly, this is a real, obviously a real actress. Obviously, I know that, but she was either like a pretty popular TV show or movie, When I first saw her, I thought she looked a little bit like Elliot Page initially, especially in this one. So yeah, I will definitely be playing that game. 100% will be playing that game. That looks pretty freaking amazing though, man. That looks amazing. Monsley, what have you been up to today? How's your day been? I know you said you're good, but how's your? I know you're late in the evening. What have you been up to today? Or even in the evening, what have you been up to? James, you like that? Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks really cool. Unfortunately it's sad. I'm not sad, but unfortunately they didn't give like a date or anything. That'd be cool if we had. I mean, although it doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Even if they said middle 26 or early 26, it doesn't mean anything. But still, I just want to play that thing. I mean, what doesn't it seem like it should be a Halloween game? So if it's not coming out now, I mean, is it going to be a year from now? Is it going to be Halloween of 26? Halloween of 27? It definitely feels like that should be a Halloween game. That is for sure. Whoa. Yeah, but it looks really, really cool. Looks really, really cool. That's actually the only trailer I had for today. That's the only trailer I had for today. So let's hop on into some Wordle and see what we got. Let's see. Maudsley did some gaming stuff earlier in the day. Maudsley, did you get the? I'm assuming you hopped into the Grounded 2 full release, correct? I assumed you got into that. That new starting screen, opening screen, menu screen is pretty darn cool. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. All right, let's get started with some Wordle here. So we were using chase as a beginner word. I was kind of not liking it because I don't like the fact that there's an A and an S and an E. Although, I mean, that in theory should be a good thing, right? That's a good thing because if you're more likely to get the common letters up here that gets you off to a good start. But sometimes I kind of go back and forth between that and obviously and something that has less common letters. So that way they kind of rule them out. / if you get one, then it's like boom. All right, that's a huge help, right? That's a huge help. So I don't know, man. I think I did. We went with fling yesterday. I don't know how I felt about fling. You've not been on it yet. Okay. All right. Due time, you'll get there. I think we're gonna go back to chase. Let's go back with that. Boom. All right. So all we've got is an S. Let's see. How about RIS? How about risky? How about let's get a little risky with it today. All right. The goal. Remember, the goal is to get it within the first 3. It's not looking great. Not looking great at all. How about, is there anything we can do with SLI? We could do sling. How ironic would that be? When I almost would have gone with fling. We went with fling yesterday. How ironic would it be if it was sling today? It's not. But we know it starts with an S. We got another letter. We got the L. We know. Whoa, all right, this is interesting. So the I is not the 2 or 3. So SOL. Solace? No. Soul. So we know there's an I, and it has to. I doubt it. It's probably not going to end in an I, right? How about SULI? No, I think I like trying to do something with the O. Solid. No, but we know where the I goes. The L is not the second or third. So Spoil. It's got to be spoil. There we go. There we go. Not three. Not three, but we still got it. We still got it. Let's throw that on into Discord. Boom. Boom. And let's head on over to Quirtle. Let's head on over to Quirtle. All right. I think we're gonna stick with Chase again. And then once we get done with this, I've got a couple. We're going to give you guys a little bit of an insight. Members only. You guys get a little bit of an insight into what I was working on today, in prep for tomorrow. Okay, so, I don't know how I feel about this start. I think we focus bottom left. Simply because we know exactly where two letters go. How about something like blaze? So what else could we do? Like, I mean, there's crate. I don't know if I like trying to use the Z though. I mean, we could do crate. Oh, no, we can't do crate. There's no C. Plate. I like that better than than using a Z. I think we go with it. Okay. We got ATE. And we got an L and an A here. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got 3 letters here. We just need to get the placement. We only got 2 letters here. So, dude, how crazy would it be? Well, it can't be blaze. I was going to say, how crazy would it be if it was actually blaze down here? But there's no E. So, if we stick down here, what could we have that ends in an 8? Great. Well, I mean, technically, that is could be great. Do you want to try something up here? So if we were looking up here, would we maybe go, what about, yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling that. Let's give grade a try. Okay, so we know the second letter is a G. So boom. A gate, could it be a gate? It almost has to be a gate. We got an extra letter here. So so this is something LA, either R or something R. We don't have any positions up here. 3 letters and 3 letters. But this has to be a gate, right? It almost has to be a gate. There we go. Oh, look, we got a double L here. Or, I'm sorry, a double A here. And we know the A position there. Alarm. Boom. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Nice. Okay. I think we have to focus here because we know this is an A. Look at these are both double A's. What are the chances they're all double A's? Well, actually it can't be here. There could be a double A here technically. Well, could there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess there technically could be, potentially. So let's go A. So I'm kind of feeling something something LM, right? And we had to get a P in there somewhere. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know how we fit a P in here and get a word. So what if we go AM? How about something? No, I'm not feeling. Definitely not feeling that. No. Like I go to the ample. Close. We know we got our R here. Amply? Could this be amply with a Y? It almost has to be amply, right? I feel like it has to be. There we go. All right, so we know this ends in RY, and we still have a C and E to put in. It does not start with the C. Ooh, I don't like these having where we don't have anything to start. How about an ERY? But that would mean this would have to be a C if we did that. I don't think that's going to work. No. Acery? No. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. So we don't know that. Oops. Let's go. Yeah, we don't know the first letter. No, we can't. No, we can't do that. So something. What do we have? Something here? Decry? Decree? Decry? No. Decree? Decry? Decree? Decry? It almost feels like there's something there, but I'm not quite seeing it. Like decree, to decree something, it's not spelled that way. How about we go start with an E? CXRY? Ekery? No, I'm not feeling that. How about we do Encry? Encry? No, we just did this, didn't we? Oh no, we put the E in the middle in the second spot. Fcry? No. You would think of knowing the two spots. Now it's always the roughest, at least for me, for the knowing the last two and not knowing anything to start. Talk about working it backwards. So we have to get a C and an E in the first three, and the first one cannot be a C. So the C has to be one of these two. And then the E could be any of these three. Any of these three. What if there was something like RR, but it would be CERRY. That's not a. That's nothing. No, I don't. I don't think there's nothing there. What if we did? Still not knowing this. If we don't know the first letter, it seems like it would be hard to go with a C. Because then you have to go ERY. Seeing that right there, my mind goes to mercy, but obviously that can't be the word. So if this is not a C or an E, then that it would have to be. And we're back to decree or decree or decry, which is not even a thing. Is there something I'm missing? No, because we know these two, and there's just an E, an R, and a C. Oh no, not even no, not we already have the R. It's just an E and a C. I'm baffled. I'm baffled on this one. We only have two. We have two guesses left. I mean, CE doesn't make sense either, though, right? CE is kind of rare, isn't it? Cleary? Oh, no, it can't be an L. Cherry? No, can't. No, there'd be two R's. So if we were to go, if we were looking at that, I know it's not a word, but often it's good to just kind of go down the line because it might get you thinking of something else. Like right there, like this has me thinking fiery, which obviously there's no C in fiery. But it might get you, you never know what it might trigger. I mean, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. Can't be either of those. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to do the E, you're kind of only stuck with, as far as like, but again, wait. They can't start with the C. Yeah, that was already. I was already behind the eight ball there because it can't start with the C. Is there anything that's kind of that ends like that? I mean, obviously. But we need to get an E. It also seems to me if we were to do an ERY, you'd usually have an RRY, right? Which it still could. No, it can't be. It can't be something like this because then you'd have to get the C in there, and that C can't go there. Now my mind's starting to go to the word awry, but there's no C in awry, obviously. Oh, actually, this would be. Eeks, eeks, and gags. That's got me thinking euchre. So now I'm starting to think of encry, ebcry, etcry, fcry, edcry. Now I'm starting to think what's a word we could throw out there that end. I guess it doesn't have to end. It doesn't even have to end in RY. What's a word we can throw out there to see if we can get another letter for the last guess? But would maybe try and utilize the C and or the R to maybe get the location. How do you spell okra? How do you spell okra? Is that how you spell okra? No, it must not be. Love to be able to use the C in it. Oh, we actually don't need the R. It's not R. It's an E we need. Love to be able to use those in these two slots. How about if we did something like that? Every word that I'm coming up with, for even for this just random guess, it's one too many letters. It gets tough when you can't even think of a word. And then this is me getting. I keep talking about this, but this is me getting in this rut, right? right, I gotta get something. I gotta get something. For speed's sake, I gotta get something. This is taking too long. All right. I don't look at chat, but since it is taking a while, let's bring the chat in. Anybody out there have any thoughts of a word, either the exact word, something that ends in an RY, or, and no cheating, please. Obviously, no cheating. Don't be looking this up and cheating, please. I trust you guys. Or another word we can use that utilizes a C and an E in the second and third slots. It could be CE or it could be EC. Do you guys have any thoughts? Any suggestions? So I thought of this earlier, query, but there's no C. But my mind went to this word early when we were looking at the ERY. That's where my mind went to that. It's always tough when it's a word you don't know, but you've said the word I'd used as guest a couple of times. Oh, I have. I've said a word. All right, so James, feel free, throw it out there. Let's bring in the crowd right now. So once we now I don't have an official time, but once it gets to be too long, once this feels like it's taking too long, we'll go ahead and for these herd only, we'll bring in the crowd. So that is a word. I didn't think that. Wait, decree. No, isn't decree decry? Isn't decree DECREE? That is a word. Different from decree. So it's decry? Well, there you go. So I had it earlier. What the heck does decry? Publicly denounce or condemn, condemn, decry, decree, no, decry. Like I know that definition, decry. Why is that word just doesn't seem like it makes sense to me?
Decry, decry, decry.
I did have it a couple times, didn't I? It just, for some reason, it just does. It's just one of those, you know, you get those words, even the most common of words, you're like, how that's not spelled that way, or that word doesn't exist. That falls into that bucket for me right now.
Decry.
So, all right. So here's the question then, James. Did I have decry actually in there? Did I actually legitly have it in there? Because I don't really pay attention to the white versus red. Because obviously when we did that, it went white, right? To let you know it is an actually legit word. If it's not a word, it's red, which I think is a little, I don't know if I like the fact that they do that. But I guess what's the difference between that and just putting in a word and then hitting enter? There's no difference, I guess. So I got hung up in my own head basically on that one. But you just stare at the game too long. I mean, that obviously happens. That obviously happens. And generally, there's been times where I'm doing Wordle, and that's happening. And I'll walk away for like 5-10 minutes. Thankfully, there's no time limit on Wordle, because there's been some Wordles that either I walk away for 5-10 minutes, or I just like, all right, let me do some work, and then I'll come back, and it might be a few hours later. I've done that a few times. Monsley, thanks for stopping on in, buddy. I appreciate it. Good to see you. And Monsley, thank you for the support, man. It's huge. It means a lot, so thank you. Appreciate your membership. Don't think you typed it in, just said it a few times. Yeah, why does decry just not seem right? I don't know why it doesn't, but it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right at all. All right, let me get Discord back onto my full tabs, so I've got access to that. We'll leave these up. I'll leave these up on a separate tab in case you want to come back to those. Because we did do that yesterday, and we did come back to it, and it worked out. We needed it. Well, I don't know if we needed it, but we used it. So we'll kind of do that. Let me get back on over to OBS. We are looking good there. And boom. All right, we got it. So the Quirtle's a bit of an asterisk. So I did utilize chat's help. Actually, you know what? Can I put that? Can I add that in there? I'm sure we can. Let me bring that back. Quirtle, let's go ahead and edit message. How do I edit the actual, like, there's no actual message. Can I do this? Completed with Herd's help. Oops. There we go. Completed with the Herd's help. That way it's documented. It's documented. And I'm not trying to steal a win. Even though I did have it. Even though I did technically have it. Even though I did technically have it. But that's all right. That's all right. Not covering parlance these days. I know, but I mean, there's a lot. I mean, but at my age, I should still know it. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I kept going back to it for a reason, right? But it's just one of those words, decry, that I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. Just flat out does not sound right. Dude, I keep, ever since, because of Abiotic, I keep wanting to scroll through the hotbar. Did G1 have scrolling through hotbars? I think it did. G1 had scrolling, didn't it? But I keep wanting to scroll through this hotbar. Oh, that's one thing we definitely need to check out is, all right, we got the arrows. Let's head back to base 1, to the main base. And cut down the whatchamacallits again. Wait, is that underneath? It is. Cut down the grass again to see if maybe. Oh, we don't have Buddy Boy? Buggy can't reach you here. Is he up top? I don't see him up top. Oh, look at the pumpkin up top. That's pretty cool. I'm sure there's a ton of that. Yeah, he's not up there. Oftentimes when I sleep, he gets caught up there, but I don't see him up there. So we'll hoof it back. You heard that? Just stop sounding like we're. I mean, there's words like that, man. There's words like that. It just does not make sense. And then it's not only is it the sounding, the pronunciation, but sometimes I look at words and the spelling and I'm like, there's no way that's the way that's spelled. There's no way. And it'll be a simple like 4-letter word. It's like there's no way that's spelled that way. But that's just life and getting old, I guess. Yeah, I know they had multiple hotbars, which, yeah, I can't wait for that, actually. Even though I was horrible at using it in G1, I cannot wait for it. But were you able to scroll through it? I want to say we were able to scroll. I have a few. I mean, I think it'll come to G2. I'm just thinking early, obviously early access or preview, whatever they're calling it. They just don't want to put it in there yet. Scrolling, you don't know. Yeah, so there was some game that scrolled and it threw me off. I don't remember which one it was. But I thought it was that one. I could be wrong. But now with Abiotic, like I love the scrolling through the hotbar now. Although I guess I guess in G1 you can't, so that's the problem. No, that's it. You can't scroll through the hotbar if you're scrolling amongst multiple hotbars. You can't scroll for both, right? So yeah, so there was not scrolling within the hotbar because you scrolled in between hotbars. So that's what I'm thinking of. And that's where I kept getting screwed up because I only used 2 hotbars, not 3. And then I'd often get caught on the hotbar I was not even using. Which at that point, you might as well just make 2 of the hotbars be the same, right? Although that gets confusing also though. Because then you don't know which of that version of the hotbar you're on, right? All right, let's cut down at least this grass here in the middle, and we're gonna give this another trial now with the actual full legit update. Because like I mentioned, I never had an issue with grass growing. Actually, grass never grew back for me anywhere. Even over here where we were getting all of our grass, it never grew back. Until I got on the PTB, and the PTB was supposed to fix grass growing back so it would not grow back, and it did the complete opposite for me, which is a bummer for the base if that's going to be a thing. And I don't know if you can, or even if it's wise to swap back and forth between PTB and full normal release. All right, let's pick these up. Just kind of clean this up. Oh. All right, let's clean up these over here, and then although those would be a good enough test, let's just clean all this up. And actually, maybe the ones that have the water, I probably shouldn't actually just leave. That's free water, right? Even though we have 2 water things, 2 water dew collectors. We don't need them, but we would have them. Is Buddy Boy in his tent, in his nest? Wouldn't mind grabbing him to pick all that up.
Ride or die, bud.
Ride or die, buddy. Ride or die.
Nab it all, buddy.
Nab it all. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this to Spooktober, man. I'm looking forward to these games. It's also going to be nice that I think majority of these games are they're not overly long, so we should be able to get through them pretty quick. At least I don't think they are. And although it also depends on someone's skill level, depends on how long it takes to complete a game, right? So I guess there is that.
Water, bringer of life.
Water, water, water. Boop. All right, so this is going to be another test for this grass to see if with the official, and again, I don't know if the official update affects the PTB or not. I have no idea. But all right, so kind of going through, like I said, I want to give you guys, part of being members, you guys get early access to things, right? You guys get early access to things. That's what this is all about. Of having this community to where it's making it more beneficial. I want to be as beneficial as possible to be members, because obviously if you guys are able and willing to put up some a little bit of coin each and every month to be a member, that's huge. I appreciate it, and I want to show that love back to you guys. So couple of things I've been working on for, actually most of it was this morning, not last night. No, it was all this morning actually. Yeah, I was kind of noodling with it last night though. But I got into it today. So and it's all kind of like transition related that I was working on. So right now so if we're here on the game screen, right? Then we go to Be Right Back, right? This has been our Be Right Back for quite a while now. Chat goes on the right-hand corner. We have the goated herd members on the left. Be Right Back, boom, boom. And that's not going away. But what I thought we would do for Spooktober, and not just Spooktober, but also potentially for maybe I can start doing things for specific games, or just from time to time changing things up, would be so for Spooktober, we're going to go to this. Now the one thing I do need to change, and this isn't complete. I might still play around with it because I don't know how I feel about the white shadow behind everything. Kind of like it, kind of don't. But also the goated herd and the herd members will be all in black. But the way I do it now, because I do it through OBS, I can't change it. I mean, I can change it, but I have to change it back I have to change it back to this one. So that's why that's kind of like that now. Oh, and we had multiple things playing there. We had multiple things playing there. We had multiple things. I also got couple other like fades were either taking a fade in or it's gonna be a hard cut. I didn't do anything to the end credits except for just the transition itself that's changed a little bit. And then I'm working on some other things for Spooktober, and then additional things that we can play around with as we just kind of proceed. But like I said, these things, and I know those were not hard, but some of those things, even just learning how to just do the different transitions of fading in and having a different thing fade, right? I didn't know how to do that. I got to learn all this stuff, and it does take a while. And even on this one, even on this actual screen, I was trying to do some other things, and I couldn't figure it out. Man. I'd spent like an hour, and I couldn't figure out how to do some other things. So there's a lot of, again, this is part of the fun. It's part of the fun of learning all these things that this is a world I do not know. So trying to figure it out though, and learning, and like I gave someone a suggestion early on, like, I don't know, a few months ago, somebody was talking about like, oh, I kind of want to start streaming, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to put the video together. And it's like, neither did I. But if you do it, even if the first time it takes you 5 hours to edit a video, a 20-minute video, if it takes you 5 hours to edit it, well, guess what? The second time you do it, it'll be 4.5 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours. And then the next time it'll be less. And the next time it's less. Next time it's less. So I spent a lot of time. I'm editing a video or doing something, and then I'm over on my tab. DaVinci Resolve, how do I do this? DaVinci Resolve, how do I do this? Affinity Photo, how do I do this? I do that all the time, especially when there's a lot of things that like I do, and I do it like once, and then I don't do it for another 6 months to a year. Well, I don't remember how to do that. So I'm going back and re-looking all that stuff up. So there's two things you can kind of get past that, right? I need to either start creating a database of links to all the things that I learned, of how I've learned things. But sometimes that just gets not daunting, but it becomes a bit of a pain because you've looked at 12 different things. And then the one thing that once you finally figured out something and learned how to do it, at that point, you're just like, all right, I'm just done with this. Let's move on. And then you don't want to go back and create that database. So it's either that or just kind of continually looking at things and trying to do things and using those skills that you've learned, right? Because obviously it's repetition. It's always going to be repetition. And I'm more of a, sometimes I learn by, so yeah, here's an interesting question. Do you guys tend to be visual learners? Are you audible learners? Or is there a third? What would you consider, like, if so text is still visual, but that's different than watching a video? Because there's some things where I'm like, no, I don't want to watch a video on how to do this. Just put it in bullet point text. And I'd rather learn it by bullet point text. Boom, tell me to do this, boom, that. I don't need to be watching a 20-minute video when those bullet points only take 30 seconds. Just give me the bullet point, right? I know that reading it's still kind of visual, but it feels like that would be a different sort of visualization. I think it would be. I don't know though. Let me check my notes here real quick to see if there's anything else that I kind of wanted to make sure we hit today. I got to get into there. Oh, also, yeah, Kick. So I still don't know. Now, to be fair though, it's been a couple weeks since I've tried the Kick thing, but I'm still working on trying to see how I can get a stable Kick stream going, just as another option, but just kind of keeping you guys up to date on that. I didn't completely give up, but there's been so much going on that I don't know. So I need to really spend an entire afternoon and get a big deep dive and watch a ton of videos on that.
Badami77 is now following. Welcome to the pen.
Badami, hey buddy, welcome on in. Welcome to the pen, and thank you for that follow, buddy. Thank you for that follow. So Badami, you took advantage of the completely open herd only stream on Twitch right now. So yeah, so that's a good point. And I've not been bringing that up. So these herd only streams are for members on YouTube and subs on Twitch, right? Those are members of the herd. But on Twitch, because we just got affiliate, I cannot go sub only as of yet. So if you're watching this in the future and want to hop in on these live, you can still do so on Twitch without being a sub. And obviously, as you can see, without even being a follower. So you can still hop on Twitch for a little bit. I think it's like 90 days I need to stream before I can do sub only as an affiliate. So I don't know how many days we're in, but I know we're approaching. So yeah, so in this time frame, it is completely open to everyone on Twitch to hop on in and participate live. And the reason why I'm doing that is because James is the excellent example of James is not a member on YouTube. James is a sub on Twitch. And if I was to if I was to not do a Twitch simply because of that, then James would not be able to partake and James would not be able to be here today. And we want James to be a part of this because James is a founding sub on Twitch, and I appreciate that. And James be a twitching. James be a twitching. What was I talking about before that? Let's see. So James usually do best with good audio visual presentations. So you like both. You like both. All right. So even watching a video though, there's still audio. So yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good question. That audio visual, so like a video, a YouTube video. I know it's audio visual, but I would consider that more visual than audio, right? When I'm thinking audio, and I could be wrong in this, but when I'm thinking audio, I tend to be thinking you just hear it. Like you're just hearing something, right? And there's no visual at all. But James likes the both. And obviously both is nice. But there are times where I do prefer, over the bulleted, I do prefer the visual, right? I want to see, they were in that section, they clicked on that button, they did that, right? Because obviously a lot of times you go on Google and you're like, well, within Windows or something, like how do you do this? And they give you every single step by step of what to click. Well, it could be an older version of Windows and you're not seeing the same thing. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. We were talking about Kick. Yeah. So I do need to get some dedicated time to go down that rabbit hole of trying to find out how to get a solid, stable stream on Kick. The last time I was researching it, it just seemed like it was all over the board. No one really had a true answer as to how to do it. Sometimes I saw some that was, well, turn the bit rate up, and others would turn the bit rate down. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but just kind of keep you guys an FYI, because I have been talking about it. We have done a couple of test streams, so just an FYI. And there might be you might see a random just out of the blue test stream on Kick, for Kick, to try that out. Because the way I have to multi-stream, the way multi-stream works is I have to start a YouTube stream before I can start a Twitch or a Kick stream. YouTube stream has to start first before any other stream can go. That's just the way that's the way I have it set up. Either way, something has to be started before it can go off to something else. Now, whether that is you start with Kick and then you need to start that to go to Twitch and YouTube, or you start with Twitch and you have to start that before going to YouTube and whatchamacallit, something has to be started before you can get to the multis. And usually I've been doing the YouTube as a just private and or unlisted, just so no one else doesn't come into your feed and get you confused. But if something does pop up, just heads up, that's most likely what's going on there. Anything else? Oh, you know what else we didn't do? I didn't double check. Is there anything on Discord we need to? We tend to like to go through our Discord, right? So on Fallout, I did put a link. They just came out with a DLC for Fallout London, which is kind of crazy. There's DLC for that. I'm not even finished with the story. And I don't know if I'm going to do the update to this for right now, because I'm afraid it's going to break stuff. Now, the good thing is there are a ton of improvements, fixes in this, but I'm scared to do it mid playthrough and then something breaks. So I don't think I'm going to do it yet. Because it seemed like when I went on their Discord, see, I followed their Discord up in here. So you see, I got that. So it seems like a lot of people are doing this off of a brand new, fresh start. And obviously, I don't want to do that midway through a playthrough. So that'll be down the road. But I am bummed that I'm not going to be able to get those updates and fixes. That is kind of a bummer. But yeah, so that is out. Anything new on Grounded? I threw this up yesterday when I saw this. Nothing new on Sun, Starfield, Valheim. I know Roland is hard at work. He mentioned in the stream the other day he's still doing more stuff. So he's working hard on the research for the way Vikings actually have their stuff set up in specific biomes, and then building as realistic as he can to that biome. Vane. Oh, yeah. Petra put this up yesterday. This is pretty crazy. I mean, once again, we love Vane, right? Because of the detail to this game is absolutely insane.
In Vane, vehicles are composed of a variety of car parts. Each car part has a unique purpose and effect to the vehicle. With the right tools and experience, you can remove and replace parts. Engines are composed of parts that, if broken, will prevent the vehicle from running properly. If a vehicle's oil becomes too dirty, the engine will take damage and occasionally stall. Batteries are required to operate internal electronics and to start the vehicle. Headlights can be replaced if broken, and radios can be uninstalled and used separately.
I didn't know about the radio.
To covertly injure drivers, and gas tanks can be sabotaged by filling them with something other than fuel.
I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
To an immersive, exciting experience where you'll have to scavenge and loot other vehicles with working parts to maintain your vehicle of choice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And if you have not played Vane, it is a game that is not even early access. It's complete early beta, whatever, to developers. We started a playthrough on the channel a few weeks ago, but go check it out, go play it, download it on Steam and play it. The game, the mechanics and the details are absolutely insane in that game. I don't know of any other game that's as detailed. I'm sure there's something that's similar, but nothing I can think of off the top of my head. There's a DLC for a full overhaul mod, Sakes Alive. Yeah, so James, going back to the Fallout London. So James, not only that, but I I mentioned the other day, another thing I'm waiting for before I download this or even would take a look at it is for Gopher to see if he puts up a video about the download and if it might break things and all these different aspects, because Gopher's the one that if it wasn't for him, I would not be playing Fallout London. But he's big time into modding. I found him many years ago. Been a fan of his and following him for years. And he put out a video about how to download the mod. But if he didn't do that, I wouldn't be playing it because I don't know anything about mods. I don't know anything about mods at all. But he had the steps. I walked through it and he explained. And unfortunately at that time right before the initial release of the London mod, Bethesda did the next gen update, which broke the mod. And it's like, these guys spent years doing this. Now I know Bethesda can't, they shouldn't be beholden to somebody doing a mod, right? But unfortunately it broke the mod, and unfortunately that next gen update broke a lot of people's games. So it's not necessarily the best update from what I'm hearing and or seeing. But anyway, so they had to delay it a bit. And then there had to be a workaround to where if you had the next gen update, you had to roll back to pre-next gen. Thankfully, I didn't do that. But at that point, I was like, I'm not even going to mess with it. I went on to GOG. I bought the Game of the Year edition for like $20, maybe $10, something like that. It was a fresh, clean install. I followed the steps that Gopher laid out, and it was smooth, easy. Boom. It was nice and easy. But so I was waiting for him to put out a video about maybe, what the potential pitfalls might be. And he did put out a video today, but it's not. I don't think it's necessarily talking about the pitfalls and or how to download it and, whether you should or not. Although I haven't watched it all, so I don't know. But the initial beginning of the video, he started going over Team Folon's press release. And it actually says within that press release that they're doing this DLC. And I think there's another one. But they are officially turning into a full-on indie dev studio. So they're not one and done and all right, we've had our fun. They're turning into an indie studio. And based off of what they did for this, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense because it's insane that this thing is a mod, man. Absolutely insane. It's crazy. And then James' next comment was, glad you topped off the oil in all your rides. So you did do that in vain? Yeah, I have not done that in vain. I keep topping off the gas, but I've not done the oil. So how do you collect the oil? You just have to go into the engine and then put it into a bucket or something, a container? Is that how, just like you would with fuel? Is that how you do that? And then will you see, because I know we mentioned, obviously we've seen there's dirty and clean oil. I'm assuming you can also see within a vehicle if the oil is clean or dirty. Or do you just find oil out in the world? Are there no grubs out here? I was kind of hoping for a couple grubs. I feel like I'm hearing something. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and I need to seriously consider a new format for this, right? For these herd-only streams. But I just don't know. I mean, I feel like at some point we got to have some game going on, right? But like look at like I know I started off the stream talking about this, but like look at today. Like we spent like what did we do today within the game? Not much. And I'm fine with that because it's something that's different, and so I like the herd only being something different. But I also don't want to. It also feels weird to put it into the playlist. So I need to kind of think that through. Don't know if I'll have that thought through by next week, but potentially. Had to find a car oil container. Then in certain garages, there are oil collection things that you can pour dirty oil into and refill your container. Oh, you know what? I think we did see something like that. On the west side? Yeah, the west side. I think I did see something kind of like that. So you can't just take oil out of a car. Although I would assume any oil in a vehicle is probably dirty, right? Where's my mantis blade? Did we not find the mantis blade the other day? See, this is another thing that's happened ever since I went into PTB. More and more insects are I'm noticing inside of objects. I'm noticing that more and more since the PTB. Adding clean oil reduces dirtiness until the oil is full at least. Okay. So you're not actually doing a full change. You're just adding clean to dirty to balance it out, basically. Even it out. All right, were there any other pieces here? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, there was. Hey there, ladybird. Fitter's good to top off the oil was a little low and it got a little less dirty. Okay, so you know what that also sounds like? That's the complete opposite of the water, right? Because doesn't it seem like water bottles will be pure, but as they get lower, they get less pure? And it's simply based on the amount of water in there, which is kind of weird. Oh, that's full, man. Whoa. Oh wait, that one's not cooked. Let's cook that thing up real quick. Yeah, we really need to get that that fridge completed over there. And get some of this food over there.
Could use some lemon slices, but it's drinkable.
Yeah, we need to get back into vein. So, all right, so that brings up an important point, though. So, although Spooktober begins tomorrow, right? I seriously doubt we're going to finish Abiotic Factor tonight. I seriously doubt that. I've never noticed it change so slowly like that. That was kind of neat. Spooktober, those games will be the main focus for October. So the game we're going to start tomorrow, and then it looks like we're going to be playing Outlast after that, and then it looks like we'll probably be playing RE7 after that. So those games will be the main focus, but we're not completely leaving other games alone, right? So we'll still be hopping into Abiotic from time to time. We'll still be hopping into Vane. We'll still be hopping into Valheim, which I know I'm seriously late on getting into a Valheim. We haven't done Valheim in a couple weeks. I do know we do need to get back into that. So we haven't walked away from Valheim. I was trying to focus on Abiotic to get Abiotic done by Spooktober, but it's not happening. That game is there's just so much to do in that game. For the water purity, you realized it was pouring the filthy water into the sink, then refilling the bottle with the nasty stuff I just dumped into the basin. Oh, interesting. That makes sense though, right? But that's really interesting. Yeah, but it does make sense. Now there are water purifiers, are there not? I think we found a couple purifiers. I don't know how to use them yet, but I'm pretty sure we did find some the other day. Boom. Went around that horn. Are there any smoothies we want to make? Fortunately, we don't have... Oh, we got a little bit of chocolate. Well, we have a little bit of gum. The liquid rage is always a good one. Green machine's always good also. I love stamina. Is it Lady in Red? Yeah, max health. Maybe we should make some of these. Not a ton of ice splinters though. And not a ton of the lingonberry chunks. So we'll make a couple of those. And let's get some more. Yeah, see, this is the problem with the grass growing back. Let's get some more of this rolling real quick. We can only do, might as well do all 3 of those, and then we'll take, oh no, I don't want to drop. Take 3 of these. We're going to have to go get more lingonberries here pretty soon. Oh. Walter Filter says to drag it onto a container of dirty water, but you haven't tried it yet. Gotcha. All right, let's get some sleep in. Till 6 in the morning. And with that, oh, didn't mean to do that. Whoa. All right, whoa. Certainly did not mean to do that. But what I do mean to do with that,
Could
grab
use some
that.
lemon slices, but it's drinkable.
And we are gonna call that y'all. We're gonna call that. Let me get a save in. But once again, guys, I mean, like I say every week when we do this, your support is huge. I appreciate it. James, you're in every single day. I appreciate the all the support, whether it comes, and this is not just our members, right? Because I know our members are in here right now. We have members in here right now, but it's not just members. But if you're watching this in the future, it's also, non-members. It's even non-subs and non-followers, right? It's for anyone who hops on in and it just gives it a like, hops on in, is working and lurking, or lurking and sleeping, or whatever you got going on. It's all those. So I appreciate all the support. It's huge. It helps grow the channel because that's what we're trying to do here. So just as a reminder, I lost my job in June, mid to late June, and trying to turn this from a passion, a hobby, into an actual career. So that's what we're doing, and that's why we're streaming every single day, I guess, except for those Sundays right now. But that's why we're putting in all the work to see what we can do to potentially, hopefully, build this and make this into something and see this community grow, because you guys have been awesome. You guys have been awesome. I support it. I appreciate it. I support your support. Yeah, I do support your support. So thank you. Oh, Petra just hopped on in. Or Petra, were you lurking the whole time? Petra might have been lurking. But also Bademi, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. But yeah, you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of the support. But we will see you at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So you're looking at about 90 minutes from now. We'll be back on. Taking a little bit of a break right now, but we'll be back on in about 90 minutes for Abiotic Factor and trying to see how far we can get. And then tomorrow, we are starting our Spooktober tomorrow. I know today's October 1st, but we had a plan for tomorrow, and that plan got derailed when a game got delayed. so it happened. Petra, you just got here? Well, thanks for stopping on in, Petra. I appreciate it. Sorry it's at the end, though. But hopefully we'll see you in 90 minutes. And then obviously tomorrow for the Spooktober start. And tomorrow will be an AM stream. So it'll be somewhere around 9, 10 a.m. Pacific time. But be on the lookout for that stream. Looking forward to tomorrow's game, man. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. Hopefully you guys will like it. I think you will. Get ready to be spooked out, I think. I think this is a pretty spooky game. I played the demo of this a little bit about a year or so ago, but my computer back then couldn't handle it. So I mean, it was actually kind of fine, but it wasn't all that great. So I actually haven't even tested it, but I'm assuming it's gonna be working great here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But all right, guys, rambling enough. I appreciate it. Thank you much. We'll see you in 90 minutes. Later.